Toronto Blue Jays Ross Atkins has obviously put this team together. He's built this team starting in 2016 was his first actual year. He was hired in December of 2015. And, at this point, we had a decent year. And obviously in 2016, went on a decent little run there. Obviously won that single game wild card against the Baltimore Orioles, 5-2 there. Then we went on to the ALDS, where we swept in 3 games, Texas Rangers winning 10-1, 5-3, 7-6. And then obviously that third series there in the ALCS didn't go great, where we got almost swept, a gentleman's sweep there, losing 4-1 in that series to the Cleveland Guardians, 2-0, 2-1, 4-2, 5-1 for the Jays, and then 3-0 for the Cleveland Indians. So, obviously, Ross Atkins has won some games technically in the playoffs. Yes, he's won 2 series technically, but the thing is, it was his first year, so it's not like he really, completely built that team. Obviously, some moves here and there, but for the most part, that team was already kind of made up by the time. So you can't necessarily, give him all the credit for that because it wasn't all him, obviously. But if you take a look at the next 3 years after that 2016 decent run of the ALCS, we had back-to-back-to-back fourth-place finishes in the division, and it wasn't great. 2017, 4th, 2018, 4th, 2019, 4th, and then in 2020, obviously that COVID year, we did make it into the 3rd spot in the division, but got swept there by the Rays in a very disappointing, little run there in the wild card. Ryu wasn't the best, obviously, in the playoffs either, but overall, it just was kind of a disappointing playoff run there. It was the COVID year, so that's kind of like why we made it. Obviously, went 32 and 28 that year. So, a decent little run there to the wild card, but then just got slapped around by Tampa. And the year after that, in 2021, obviously finished 4th again, when 91 and 71. Not bad at all. 91 wins is not bad at all, but obviously the division was just absolutely unreal. Then in 2022, last year, again, we got swept in 2 games in the wild card, and obviously we blew that second game there. Just horrible, absolutely embarrassing, an absolute joke. Very disappointing there to the Seattle Mariners, where we finished 2nd in the division. And this year, obviously, currently, we are 3rd place in the division. We're going to finish in 3rd place. There's a very good chance of that, but are we going to make the playoffs? That is a big, big question mark. And I think if we don't make the playoffs, there's absolutely zero reason to bring Ross Atkins back. And yes, you can say it's not on him that Vladdy has sucked this year, that Manoah absolutely blows this year. There's a lot of things that obviously, Ross Atkins isn't actually playing the games. He builds a team, puts the team together, does his best to do that. And obviously, you can only do so much, right? You can't actually play the games. Ross is not actually playing the games, but he built this team. And I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, you can't blame him for what Vladdy's doing and what obviously Manoah did. I completely 110% agree with that. But are you telling me you really want to run it back again with Ross Atkins and this whole pretty much same coaching staff and stuff like that? I just don't think we can. It's been 7 years in a row now without a playoff win. We've only seen 4 playoff games, and those games were not good at all, really. Let's be honest here. Those 2 games against the Rays in that wild card in the 2020 season were absolutely awful. We got slapped around. Pretty much the same thing against the Seattle Mariners, obviously last year. So I just don't see how we can run it back with Ross Atkins for a 9th year in a row now. And yes, the 2016 run was nice to the ALCS, but since then, it's been awful. And that was his first year too. Like I said, he didn't really build that whole entire team. The core and the main pieces were still there. He made a couple moves, yes, but for the most part, that 2016 team was pretty much built when he got there because he was hired in 2015 of December, right? So he was pretty much going in his first year. We had that nice run to the ALCS, but he didn't build that whole team. It wasn't really his whole entire team, right? So he hasn't actually really, you could say, won a playoff game with his actual team, because 2016 team, like I keep saying, he didn't build that whole entire thing. It was pretty much from previous managers and stuff like that. So I just don't know how you sell the fan base, Rodgers ownership. How do you sell people on bringing Ross Atkins back for a 9th year now with only 1 year playoff success? And that was his first year when obviously he didn't really build that team from scratch like he's done with this team now. So I just don't see, especially if we don't make the playoffs, how you can possibly bring Atkins back. I think 100% he needs to be fired and should be if we don't make playoffs. Now, if we somehow miraculously turn things around, make playoffs, win 2 series, as I'd say, so like win the wild card, win the next round as well, maybe, yeah, you can definitely talk about bringing him back, obviously, but I think that's the only way. If we don't at least make it out of the wild card round, I don't see how you can possibly argue to bring back Ross Atkins. I just don't think it's possible or realistic. He needs to go, and there's a good chance at this point we're not going to make the playoffs. I think a lot of Jays fans have kind of thrown in the towel there, especially with probably winning a wild card round as well. So I think overall, this team is in shambles right now. This team is playing absolutely horrible baseball. I honestly think, unless this team completely turns it around, I just don't see how we can possibly bring back Ross Atkins for a 9th year in a row. But anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you guys have, please smash the like button, and definitely, like always, comment down below your guys' thoughts. I love hearing your guys' thoughts on what you guys think about this team as well. What do you think about Ross Atkins? Do you think he should come back if we win, the wild card round, for example? If we make playoffs, should he come back, or do you just think he should be gone no matter what? Because I'm kind of in that boat. Unless we somehow, make the World Series or win a couple rounds here, I just don't see how you can possibly argue on bringing back Ross Atkins for a 9th year in a row. Thanks for watching, and see ya.